Right. As of 4 a.m. this morning, our time, Matthew was located at about 60 miles south-southeast of Nassau in the Bahamas. It's also about 255 miles southeast of West Palm Beach, Florida. Maximum sustained winds were near 125 miles an hour, with some higher gusts, obviously, with a minimum central pressure of 944 millibars.
In the scheme of hurricanes, is this area-wise, is it small or is it huge? For example, right now, if the eye is over, I guess it's around Nassau in the Bahamas right now, how far north, in other words, is it already cloudy and raining in Palm Beach?
Not quite. I know the winds are beginning to pick up there in Palm Beach now, but it's not an overly large storm, though. It's a very compact storm, though. But again, tropical storm force winds will begin to overspread parts of southern Florida as early as later on this afternoon and evening.
The path from the Bahamas, can you give us a direction? If is it headed straight for Palm Beach, or is it going to kind of go up the coast?
Kind of hit Miami and skirt up the east coast of Florida?
Well, it's interesting because some of the computer models we were looking at this morning, in fact, I've noticed this over the last few days, they've been trending further and further left with the overall track. Left by meaning a little further to the northwest. And so it could maybe perhaps have more direct impact with land areas north of Miami, including maybe Fort Lauderdale and Orlando, Palm Beach.
Heavily populated areas.
Yes, all along the east coast of Florida. Melbourne, Jacksonville, all the way up there into possibly far southeast Georgia.
Excuse me, Jason, you said Orlando. Orlando is landlocked. It's in the center of the state.
Yes.
And so the latest computer models say that it might not be as far east as originally planned, where I was looking at the thing last night, and it looked like about like 1/3 would be over the eastern part of Florida, and 2/3 would still be out over the ocean. Just move that back west a little bit, right?
Just a little bit. But you got to remember, though, too, there's going to be some errors in the overall path of the storm. The fact of the matter is, the entire eastern half or much of the Florida Peninsula will experience hurricane and tropical storm force conditions as early as later on today and continuing through tonight and through much of the day on Friday. So I wouldn't be too concerned a little bit as to the direct path, but those heavily populated areas along the east coast of Florida are certainly going to bear the brunt of the hurricane force winds. But the impacts across the peninsula will be widespread.
Jason Hansford with the National Weather Service. We're talking with him this morning about Hurricane Matthew. Do you anticipate as it passes across the Bahamas this morning that it could lose some of its punch as it hits Florida?
No, not at all. In fact, I was listening into the hurricane conference call earlier this morning, and they had an Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft in the storm this morning and noted that the hurricane is beginning to intensify there at this time there, and the pressure is beginning to fall further, and so they're expecting further intensification throughout the day today. It's a Category 3 storm right now, and it's possible it could strengthen back up to a Category 4 later on today before it impacts southern Florida.
I had seen a computer projection, a model last night that also said there was a possibility, a chance that it could come up the east coast of Florida, move back out over the Atlantic Ocean, and do one of those like loop-de-loop hurricane U-turns, i.e. places like Palm Beach or even farther north could be hit by the same hurricane twice within 5 or 6 days.
That can't be ruled out. Some of the computer models are still indicating that here this morning, although they're really weakening the storm here by, say, the Monday to Tuesday time frame. Whether or not it really weakens that quickly remains to be seen, but I think the fact of the matter is, well, we just really need to be concerned about the impacts and the devastation that awaits parts of eastern Florida and possibly southeast Georgia and southeast or eastern South Carolina.
And that because of the geography of the coast for places like what's called the Space Coast, which is 75 miles east of Orlando, Cape Canaveral, I think Cocoa Beach is out that way, etc., that this will be the worst hurricane they've ever seen. Is that true?
I can't confirm or deny that, there, Robert. I know we were talking about it here this morning that this may be the first major hurricane to strike the U.S. coast here. I think since 2005 with Wilma, I believe. So in terms of a Category 3 or stronger storm. So I mean, it's been almost 10 years, if not a little more than 10 years, since we've had a direct strike on the U.S. mainland. What
can you tell us, if you know anything yet, about the damages left behind in Haiti? Those stories are starting to come out.
Yeah, other than what I've seen on national media, just complete devastation there in Haiti. Of course, it's a very poor country to begin with, and so the housing is fairly simple, fairly rural out that way. So just complete devastation with a lot of the homes completely demolished. They've had lots of flash flooding. It's a very hilly terrain out there, so lots of flash flooding across the island as well. It's amazing, to our knowledge, that it's only 2 deaths have occurred with that storm. Of course, they're still kind of, I guess, doing rescue efforts down there now. So the totals may end up going up in the future days, but it's just amazing, given the population of the island, that only 2 people have perished so far.